Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Green Tea with Kesha. I'm just kidding. Welcome to another episode of the Sketchbook podcast. I think I literally forgot the name of my podcast for a second right there. Anyways, welcome to another episode of Sketchbook. And today I'm going to be answering some of your questions that you guys have asked me. And we have a lot of questions, 485 questions to be exact. Oh, wait, it just turned 482. 87, sorry. So yeah, there's a lot of questions, and I'm going to be answering those questions, sharing my perspectives on this podcast. So grab your pencils and drawing supplies. Why don't you just draw something while you listen to this podcast? It'll be good use of your time. And also, I'll be sipping my green tea. It's not green tea, actually. It's hot water. I usually put green tea right here. Man, this is a very long intro. Let's get into the intro. Yeah, so if you ever hear that sound, that sound during the podcast, it's because I'm sipping hot water right here. This is one of my new habits, drinking hot beverages that doesn't involve any sugar. It makes me feel good, and especially during the afternoon time, which is right now, it helps me sort of be active, and it brightens my day up. So anyways, we need to really get into things pretty damn quick, and I want to keep this podcast as detailed as I possibly can, because you guys have asked me a lot of questions, and a lot of them are really good. I really like the questions that you guys have asked me, and I'm going to be sharing my perspective. And by the way, I don't know all the answers to all the questions in the universe, so hopefully you know that by now. And I'm just going to share what I know. And hopefully, if you have something that you can take away from those things, it'll be good. So yeah, anyways, let's get into it. So the first question is by Kid with a Pencil. And he asks, what should a high school student do to get into the art field before college? And is art school a must for artists? Okay. There's a couple of things a high school student, right, can do to get into the art field. Wait. You say you want to get into the art field before college. We need to define what an art field is. I'm assuming you think the art field as some sort of like a professional industry place where there is like a door and you get into it and you're into. Oops, I just moved my microphone. Once you're into it, you're like set for life. If from what I've learned, it's not getting in is the easy part. Right, getting into the art field or the art industry is sort of the easy part. Staying there and making your name for yourself and getting your work out there and making people see your work is the hard part, right? So with that said, I don't know, you can get into the art field literally like right now. You get someone to pay you like $1,000 or 2,000 rupees or $2,000 or $500, $100, something to do a piece of illustration, an artwork, or do some sort of like a project for him. You're in the field, you're in the industry, right? Now I'm assuming you are asking the question because I know Kid with a Pencil, right? I know him personally, and I'm assuming you're thinking of, say, some sort of like the major players like an ad agency or an animation studio or some sort of studio place or some place where they employ artists, or some place where you want to be working as a freelance artist, I think that's the place that you're sort of asking that question from. The number one thing you can do when you're in high school is get a portfolio done. It's one of the best things that you can do, and that will really help you. So what can a portfolio contain? Well, I'd say keep it short and keep it simple. Say 8 to 10 pieces, 10 good illustration pieces that is sort of in the lines of the kind of industry that you want to get in. If you want to get into, say, children's books, some sort of 8 to 10 children's book illustration. Okay, maybe I'm not the best person to answer for this children's book industry, but anyways, you get the idea. If it's children's books, something based on children's books. If it's comics, something based on comics. And I would say definitely suggest you do some sort of like a personal project that's small and that looks good, and it seems like a good story and an addition to the portfolio. And some sort of like a little personal project. If you can do a big personal project, good, go for it, do it, right? So get a portfolio done, 8 to 10 pieces, good pieces, a couple of sketches that are casual, that are done by you in case you want to get into animation, which they sort of expect to see your work that is more relaxed and loose, and see what they want to see, that other side of you other than just the finished made pieces of yours. And so some sort of illustrations, sketches, then a project or two would really help. And keep your portfolios, keep your portfolio in such a way that it can be consumed, say, within 5, 10, or 15 minutes. This is just my opinion, right? This is just an opinion. Have like 2 versions of your portfolio, something that can be consumed within, say, 5, 10, 15 minutes, that holds the person's attention for such amount of time. 5 minutes is a long time, trust me. And 10 is really long. Like, think about it. If you have ever sat down to watch like a 15-minute YouTube video, right? 15 minutes is a long time. Because once you hand your portfolio to someone, they just want to go through it. They need to enjoy that portfolio. They need to sort of understand that you are suitable for their requirements. And that's the idea right there. Think of your portfolio like a movie that you need to give to someone, and it needs to hold their attention. And you hold their attention by producing good pieces of work. That's my opinion. That's my thing. And is art school must for artists? Well, if you had asked me that question a couple of years back, I'd say, man, don't go to art school. Don't waste your money on that. It's so dumb and stupid. I still hold that opinion to a certain degree. But art schools in this current day and age are not worth it because of their extremely high costs and high tuition rates, right? They're very, very expensive. And for the value that they provide, which is a lot, which is quite a lot, it doesn't seem justifiable for many people to get into debt, because most people can't afford to pay that tuition, say, in that particular amount of time, right? So I would say, is it a must for you to attend art schools? No. Can you do or learn stuff without going to art school? Definitely yes. There are tons of these online classes, courses, schools that offer good programs on art. If you want something, if you want some sort of like a good school, go for CGMA, Character Design Academy. They have some good programs, and for the price, it's very good. Try Schoolism. Try svslearn.com. By the way, I'm not being sponsored by any of these people. I just love them, that I just give them a shout out. And tons of YouTube channels that are out there that can teach you. Ethan Becker comes to my mind because I was just going through the comments. Someone mentioned his name. Ethan Becker makes really good videos. Snarky guy, I'll tell you that. And I make art videos. You can check out my courses, by the way. Oh, I totally forgot. I have my own courses. You can go and check them out. Links are down below in the description. Art school is not a must. The thing is, art school offers something that's really, really good that these online courses and classes cannot offer you, which is community. Right? Community, being in the same space as with people that are similar to you, that want to grow along with you, who want to work hard, who want to do stuff. It's very hard to find that when you're learning things all by your own. So you need to supplement your online learning by getting into a community. And one of the biggest things art school offers is another thing, which is feedback, mentorship, teachers. These things are really, really important. There are some things that I've learned with art and drawing, which I learned on my own, which took me a lot of years, and I figured it on my own, which is good. I did it on my own, but I could have done the same thing if I had went to a teacher or some sort of a mentor. I could have learned the same thing in a year or months. I could have saved a lot of time. That's what art schools offer. You have to ask yourself, is it worth the cost? If you cannot afford the cost, it's definitely possible to sort of for you to go ahead and learn on your own. You just need to be disciplined. You need to have a program for yourself. You need to create yourself a structured program. You need to get into courses that offers a structured program, because you just don't buy a course and say, oh, I'll finish it someday. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to go through it. You need to schedule it into your time. You need to learn on your own. You need to learn to give yourself a feedback. Hopefully get yourself a mentor and they can give you feedback. That's very important, right? Wow, we just spent too much time in the first question. Anyways, second question, Sketched Up 20 asks, wait, let me drink a sip of my hot water. How's that for some ASMR, right? Sketched Up 20 asks, are you working with any brands, any sponsorship deals, or do you stay away from them? I am working with brands. I'm working with XP Pen to a very small degree when we are working on workshops or things like that. I do work with brands. The thing is, I only work with brands that are something that I personally use myself, or else I won't promote them. I won't talk about them. I don't show them in my videos. That's why you see very little brand sponsorship things in my videos, right? Skillshare is one. I'm a Skillshare, part of their brand ambassador program, but so are many people. But it's good to be a part of that thing. And who else? Well, I work with brands, say, on a one-off basis, and I get a lot of these brand sponsorship deals, like a lot of these emails. But the thing is, I have to turn down, say, unfortunately or unfortunately, I don't know how it works. I'm losing a lot of money on the table, I'll give you that. I have to turn them down because I personally don't use them, and I just don't want to exploit the attention of the audience that I have, so to make a quick buck here and there. I have to really work with. I only work with or share stuff that I personally use, and it's a very good strategy. If Pentel is listening to this video, please contact me, Pentel, because I love your brush pen. And if Apple is listening to this video, I'm using your iPad Pro a lot. You can sponsor me if you want to. And if Hot Water is listening to this video, I'm drinking a sip of hot water right now. How's that? I'm just kidding. Anyways, so that's right there. And let us go to the next question. Hey, Keshav, how do you make a living through art? The original man asks this question. How do you make a living through art? Well, I want to make a detailed podcast and a video just on this because it's too big of a subject that I want to cover. And I know when I was starting out, everything seemed so metaphysical and esoteric. Oh God, how do you make a living with your art? It seems so out there, right? But the thing is, it is very, very simple if you understand two things: value and business, and a couple of other things as well. But these are the two things that came to my mind right now. Value and business. Value is often, you need, okay, this is how the world works, right? I'm there, you're there. I produce something useful, you produce something useful. If I want the stuff that you're producing, I'd give you something and you give me that. And if you want something from me and you'd give me something and I'd give you my stuff, right? So the key with art, or making a living with art, is, or the key with business as a whole, is you need to produce something useful for other people. So art is something personal. You do it for yourself. But when the question of wanting to make a living with your art and wanting to make money with your art comes in, you need to go from a place of you to a place of others as well. You need to consider other people, meaning you need to go into the mindset of a service person, meaning you need to serve other people. You need to be useful. You need to produce products or services that are useful so that you'll get what they have in return. In this case, money, right? You can get there some other stuff. You can go back to the good old days of barter, but this is how it works. Now, that's like a basic business 101 lesson, right? I have something, you have something, let's exchange stuff, right? And money is like a mediator that exists out there so that it's an easier way of exchanging stuff, No, they're just going in a full-on economics right there. I was an economics student. Did you know that? In school. So yeah, making a living with art. How do you do it? Let me tell you some of the ways that I do it. And in another YouTube video on my main channel, what I'll do is I'll give you a complete guide as to how to make a living from art. But I'm going to keep this one short. I'm just going to show you some of the ways I have made money in the past and I'm making money right now in the present, right? So let's go from the very beginning. Freelance works. Okay, some of the freelance projects and works that I've done in the past to make money as an artist. When I was in college, I was good at video making. I was good at drawing. So I made whiteboard animations for people. I was contacted by some company. They said, okay, you make good drawings, you make good videos. Why don't you combine them, make some whiteboard animation videos for that? So I got paid for doing that. Then a couple of other people started asking me. Then I made more whiteboard animations and things like that, doing that. So that's one side of freelancing. Another thing, I drew for people. People paid me money and I did drawings for them, right? So that is one. And I took on illustration projects. Sometimes I get design projects, which I don't do a lot, but someone just comes to me and say, Keshav, I have this brand, we are starting this startup, and we want you to design the look, the aesthetics, and the appeal for the whole thing, the logo, the branding, and everything. How much do you want? That's another thing. So that's freelancing. And I also used to make videos. I'm a filmmaker or a video producer. I worked in an ad agency as a video producer. I made videos for them, and I got the chance to sort of combine my art during that time into my videos so that it'll be fun for me. So I used to make these stop motion animated little videos where I got to draw, then made videos out of them. So that's one of the things. You can get a job as an artist. You can get a job as an illustrator. You can get a job as a graphic designer. You can get a job as a wall mural artist, right? I know Mamta Singh. She has done 300 walls in her career as a wall mural artist. That's a lot of walls. I'll tell you that. That's one way to make money. And okay, those are the things, right? So right now, how do I make money? I have a YouTube channel. I get ad revenue from that. So that is one of the ways I make money, which is not a lot, actually. Trust me, it has its ups and downs. So I don't depend on that at all. Like, it's like side extra cash, like for me. That's how YouTube AdSense works for me. What really pays my money is, say, my course sales. So like I told you, right? I have something useful. I like to draw. I know how to draw. I have at least not everything. Like I know how much I know how to draw. That's it, right? And people come to me and say, Keshav, you know what? I like the way you draw. I want to learn how to do that. Great. I made an online course. Okay, that's a product right there, and I sell that product to people. That's my main source of income right now. So we just crossed. Fun fact: we just crossed over 1,000 or 1,200 students on the online courses, or through all the courses, which is fun. I'm working right now with other artists who are a lot talented than me and are doing different kinds of art in different fields to bring good quality courses out of them, so that I want to learn from them and also people can learn from them. See, I produce products, and I have affiliate sponsorships. I work with Skillshare, and and then what else? Oh yeah, I get brand sponsorships sometimes, which I don't take a lot, but if I take them, it's a good deal usually. Sometimes some ad agency or marketing agency that's affiliated to a particular brand contacts me and say, hey buddy, we're doing the marketing for this product. If you're interested, do you want to work with us, make a YouTube video or a series of Instagram posts and things like that. And I get paid for that. And that is one. I do workshops. I conduct workshops. Say, I didn't do it for the past 1 or 2 months. I think I stopped with the workshops. I'm sort of taking a break from workshops, which just take a lot of time. Again, another sip. So yeah, that's another way. And I'm back to, say, sort of freelancing here and there. And but since I'm sort of aiming for creating products and services that people like and to sell them on scale to make myself financially independent as an artist. And that's how I make a living out of art. And I'm doing that right now through online courses. I have some couple of other products in line. I'll launch them one by one. I've just launched a course. I'm going to be launching a big course soon called the Ultimate Drawing Course. First time you heard it here, right? It's a version of my workshop. So yeah, anyways, I'm going off on tangents. That's how I make a living at art. I'll make a detailed video on this on my YouTube channel, but yeah. Okay, to the next question. Are you a full-time artist or do you have any other jobs? I've never had any other jobs in my entire life except for the first job I took right out of college, which was a job at an ad agency. And 7 or 8 months in, I realized I could actually do this work that I'm doing for them, for myself. Then I can make more money doing that. So yeah, I'm a full-time artist, and the way I make money right now is the way I told you. I'm doing good, Yeah. And next question. Oh wait, this question was asked by Scribbled Hobo. That's one hell of a username. Okay, next question. Artsy and a .kp asks. Artsy.kp, I know a couple. I know him as well. I know if I keep doing what I'm doing right now, I'll get better. But how do you deal with a plateau? Okay. I think you're asking two different questions right there. One, I know if I keep doing what I'm doing right now, I'll get better. Okay, that's good. But how do you deal with a plateau? Okay, I get that part. Plateaus, right? You just sit through it. One of the things that I'm sort of getting to terms with in the past year is sometimes things are boring. Sometimes most of the times things are boring. And most of the times you just have to grind it out. And most of the time you're just working for those little moments of fun and gratitude and happiness that you get here and there. And you work towards that. But there are phases where you just sit down and it's like the roller coaster, right? For the first 5-6 minutes of roller coaster, you're just climbing. Probably more than that. You're just climbing. It's like boring. It's like you're just looking at stuff. You're probably enjoying. You need to learn to enjoy that part of the roller coaster ride as well, right? You just look to the sides. Oh, wait, I'm going a bit taller, and I'm seeing stuff from a higher point of view right now. The air is really cooler at this height. Then it's all bored, and then you fall, and that's the fun part begins, right? Then it's sort of like a roller coaster ride. You sit with it and you be okay with it. At least that's what I'm doing right now. I'm sure there are better strategies out there, and there are wiser people out there who know better than me, and they might have a very, very different answer than I do. Sit with it. Next question, Doodle_mine. Have you gone to any art school or just self-learning? I've never gone to any art schools. I've only learned art and drawing and stuff by myself. And, I've never gone to art schools. I've probably learned by copying other artists, vigorously studying them, asking myself good questions like, okay, how did that artist do this stuff? And once you ask a good question, apparently you'll get an answer. Ask it and you shall receive, right? And that's how I learned. And online courses have been big. I buy courses left and right and classes left and right from people who I admire. And that's how I learn. That's how I do it. And most of it is by figuring out by myself. I would have said time if I'd gone to some school, I'd had a mentor, but I didn't. I did it. And I wouldn't recommend it. Sirs a lot 20 asks, how could you know if your art is improving? This is a good question. One of the things, I also came across another question which was sort of similar to this. I'll get to that question though. The way you know your art is improving is through little metrics here and there. Maybe you need to notice things such as, okay, how exactly are you drawing, say, certain characters or certain forms? How is the quality of your line work and things like that? Now, thing is, art is something that takes a lot of time to improve, and the difference is barely noticeable, especially you get to a point where you're really good. like any other fields. When you're a beginner and you say put a lot of time and effort into your art, and say in a span of 2 to 3 or 5 years, you'll notice a big difference, like I did. The drawings that I've drawn in, say, 2010 is and that's a whole another world. And right now, compared to the drawings that I'm doing right now, I have improved a lot, but I didn't see it on a yearly basis. I saw it here and there, little improvements here and there. I felt it, and that's all you'll probably feel, because the art is not a very quantifiable thing. And getting good at it is not like a quantifiable thing, because you're doing different things and it's very hard to quantify. If you're just doing one drawing every day for 365 days, then you can say whether you're getting good at that drawing or not. But you're doing different kinds of drawings, different kinds of illustrations, different kinds of pieces. And the way you quantify that is by doing sort of like a general assessment of the work that you have done in a particular period compared to a previous period. And that's how you know, and do know, that it's very hard to notice improvements. I can only notice improvements to compare to some of my works that I've done 3 or 4 years back. That's how it works. Another way to know is by seeing the number of pieces you produce. Quantity is not subjective, right? Quantity is not subjective. So you can just go ahead and say, you know what, man, I've produced 100 pieces last year. If I produce 150 pieces this year, I'll definitely get good, or at least get a little bit better, or at least 1% better, something like that, right? That's one of the ways you can sort of know whether you're improving at your art or not. Next questions. Okay, can you make a video on how you make motion graphics for your videos? Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, I don't think I'll be able to answer that question right here. Next question. Are you getting that much money from YouTube to buy that iMac, the MacBook Pro, the iPad Pro? Do you have any other job? Okay, the reason I put this question right here is, this sort of just the question itself, it's the way it's phrased. Yes, I do. And I don't know how else to answer that question. The thing is, fortunately, I'm very bad at making decisions, but fortunately, I make good decisions here and there, and that decisions are paying off very well. So yes, for those Indians who are listening to me out there, who are wondering, can you make money at as much? And that's probably one of the, I want to answer to my Indian friends out there, right? Some of you guys are wondering, would I earn as much as someone who did engineering or accounts or CA or something like that? Would I earn as much money in art? Well, I don't know if you can, but I'll tell you what, all my friends who I studied with in high school all went in the field of accounting or engineering. And it's very fair to say I'm making more than them. And this is not a brag. Trust me, this is not a brag. I speak with them, and I really hope they make more than me. But the thing is, I do, and because I'm not just an artist. I'm also a businessman. I know how to do business to a little extent. I'm not that good, by the way. And yeah, so I do, and that's how you afford all these stuff. By the way, except for the iPad, no, what do you call this? The Mac Pro something. I got this from my father. It was lying in his office. He gave it to me. Everything else I bought it. So yeah. So to the next question. Do you have any plans for the future with your channel, classes, and podcasts? Yes, I do. And the plans are pretty damn vague. Regarding to, say, courses, this is what I'm doing right now, in case you want a little life update of Kesh. There's another sip ASMR for you. So what I'm doing right now is I'm working on a course called the Ultimate Drawing Course. So this is my flagship product. This is what I want to make. This is something that I really want to make. And I have a goal that I have in mind, which I don't want to say. It's the number of people that I want to help start drawing. That's my goal right there. And I'm working on creating that product. And it is sort of like the class I wish I had when I was 11 or 12 or something like that. So that's the idea. I'm working on that. And with YouTube, I'm sort of taking it easy on YouTube in the sense I used to struggle with the idea of quality or quantity when it comes to YouTube. Now I'm just relaxing and making YouTube videos whenever I feel like, which is sort of going good so far. And yeah, ultimate drawing course, and I'm preparing for 100 days of sketching. I'm doing, what do you say? What is that? What is that thing? People Folk project, and I'm working on illustrations and drawings here and there. That's what I'm doing. Man, I'm not doing much. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And classes, right? Yeah, one thing I want to say is I realized that I can do everything. So I'm working with a couple of other artists who are exceptionally good in their field of art, and bringing classes and courses from them so that I can share it with you guys, right? I'm working with Shri Priyatham, a caricature artist. He's exceptionally good at caricatures. You should see his work. Go check him out. And I'm working on creating a course with him. And I'm working with another hyper-realism artist named Tathagata Paul. We're shooting his hyper-realism course for those people who are interested in hyper-realism, in super realistic drawings, pencil drawings. Man, you should see his work. I was like, Jesus Christ, how is it so good? So yeah, I'm working on creating a class. The idea right now, I'm not sure if I'm committed to it. I'm thinking of creating an online school for art. That's the idea. I take life 3 to 4 months at a time. It's too hard for me to think down in the future. So yeah. Next question. Wait, I keep forgetting the names, to mention names. So in this question, Spimshraj _06 asks, are you satisfied with the art you make? It's always a period of being satisfied and not being satisfied. Sometimes I'm satisfied with my art, and sometimes I'm not satisfied with my art, and I go look out for ways to improve it. That's how it works for me. Next question, Dikshita04 asks, for someone who's just starting out with drawing, what do you think are the basic things one should practice? There are many things that one can practice, but I would say if you had to focus on just this thing alone, right? Just this thing, the one thing that you need to practice when you're starting out as a beginner artist, stop trying to say, or not stop, maybe spend less time on learning how to draw, rather spend more time on learning what to draw, right? Learn to see the world around you, learn to see things, observe things, look for things that you're curious about, interested about, and make art about those things rather than how to do art, which is very important, right? I'll give you an answer for that as well. There was a J.J. Abrams, the director of Star Wars and all that stuff. I think he went to his father or someone who told him. When he asked him right out of high school, to his dad, whether he should go to a writing school to learn to write, his father was like, actually learn more about what to write than how to write. Because I think that's what separates the good artist from the great. Technique is very important, definitely, right? Mastery in technique, very, very important. But mastery in content, information, what is it that you're drawing about? Mastery in storytelling, that is probably even more meatier than technique for me, and that is something that you can focus on. Say, if you want to, the technique-wise, if you want to know what to learn, here are some things that you can learn if you want to draw like the kind of drawings that I'm doing. Learn forms and shapes, perspective, know color theory, know shape language, know the fundamentals of character design, know proper light and shadow. You're good to go. That's it. Those things can be learned quickly. Knowing what to draw, that's the hard part right there. The Tube Bantor 34 asks, what drives you to become a better artist? By the way, I love your videos. Thanks, I'm sorry, it's not Tube Bantor. It's the Turbinator. He's wearing a turban. Oh, the Turbinator. Like the Terminator. Now I get the idea. Now I get the pun. He asks, what drives you to become a better artist? What drives me? Being complacent and not I see life as a very binary thing in this particular aspect, which is if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. And that doesn't mean you should always keep moving forward, because that might burn you out. But in net over a period of time, you keep moving forward. It's just, you're like a flower, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. It's as simple as that, right? You need to grow and you need to die. That's how life works. And that's what drives me, because being complacent and the dark side really scares me. I don't want to be like Darth Vader, man. I'm telling you. I want to be like Luke Skywalker. I don't think he's a good role real life model, but anyway, role model. Yeah. Maybe I should be like Yoda. Yeah. I think I want to be like Yoda. You gotta choose the light side. So that's what drives to become a better artist. And Miscellaneous asks, "Hey Cash, I wanted to know how to find your art style, like your own way of drawing things. I tried a lot of ways, but nothing seems to work. And I produce artworks that's just a mix of different impressions. I love your style as it instantly pops out on my Insta feed. So please give some tips about that." Hi, I've made 5 videos or 4 videos over the span of a couple of years on finding art styles, and I think those videos would do a lot better at explaining, at finding your art styles than I can right now. So do go watch those 4 videos. I'll link them all down below in the description, because the answer is very simple, and I've spoken in those videos. So yeah. Where are you from, Cash? Mischievous artist asks. And I'm from Chennai, India. I'm a Tamil boy. A lot of you guys are wondering, where am I from? What do I speak? I'm a Tamil boy. Now ஒரு பக்கா தமிழ் பையன், தமிழன். எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். I'm just speaking a couple of words in my own native tongue. So I'm a Tamil boy, down from South India. I'm not Mexican. I'm not North Indian. I'm not from Kerala. I'm not from Bangladesh. A lot of people mix me for, I have quite a good colored skin right there, so people confuse me for a lot of things. So yeah, well, there you go. Next question: how do you find clients who are willing to pay for your work? I'm going to be keeping this very short. Definitely put your work out there on social media and Instagram. Step 1. Step 2, network in real life, meaning go into an art community, talk with people, and one will lead to another, then you'll land a client. I've landed so many contacts and links that way, by networking in real life, and also by putting my work on social media. And another way you land your clients is by doing good work and making sure that your work is in front of those people's eyes. And how you can make it available in front of those people's eyes, by doing this: going to events, networking in real life, doing the work, and putting your stuff on social media. Those are some of the things that you can do. TB Pandey 3 asks, how long did it take to get your art career off the ground? It did take a long time. I started out in 2010. I got serious in 2016. I struggled for a year. In 2017, I got even more serious. And near the end of 2017, it took off. So it's only been, say, 2.5 or 3 years since it has taken off. It did take a lot of time. You need to persevere. I don't know how I even persevered that long. Probably because I started out early when I was in 10th grade. But man, I don't know if I can do it again. So yeah. You like ice cream or cake? It depends on my mood, to be honest. Sometimes I like ice cream. Sometimes I like cake. I like the texture of cake, but I like the coolness of ice cream. Maybe someone should make me an ice cream cake, and I would love that even more. So yeah. Which is your favorite digital art or traditional art? I've answered this before. Depends. If I want to have fun, have a little stress-free, stress-buster session, traditional. If I want to make stuff, if I want to get things done, if I want to put some stuff out there for people to see, digital. I have my modes of being. So yeah. Next question. I admire your art. Please tell which artists I should follow to draw like you. And as a beginner, which books I should learn from. This was by Draw889. The previous questions was by artist underscore Sumana. So anyways, thank you. One, some of the books I would recommend that you can sort of get a lot of value from are these books that I personally have gotten value from. Get Silver Way by Stephen Silver. Fantastic book. Just go for it. It's like worth every piece of penny you invest in that book. That is one. And then I would get, say, some of Preston Blair's books on animation, sort of like an inspiration thing for me. And I would also suggest collect art collections from some of your favorite artists. It's like a collection of drawings and illustrations from your favorite artists. And some of the books that I have are from Derek Loffman. I have both of his drawings books, and I have a copy of drawings from Jake Parker. That's a good book. I have a doodle collection book by Kirby Rosans, amazing artist, and Zen pencils. And these are all inspirational books. And what else would I recommend? Oh yeah, if you want to learn anatomy, I would highly recommend that you get this book called Analytical Figure Drawing by, God, I forgot his name, Michael H. Hampton. Yeah, fantastic creator. You should go for it. Yeah, so these are some of the books that I would recommend. There are plenty of good books out there on your specific subject of art. You just need to go on Amazon. It's as simple as that, actually. Bailing Blue asks, is there anything you feel insecure about your art? If so, what is it? Oh God, you touched me in my weak spot, Bailing Blue. I'm telling you. Well, I'm just going through my art right now in my Instagram feed. What am I insecure about? I'm not exact. I think I've been so insecure that I've gotten to a point where I'm okay with being insecure. So I'm so secure about being insecure right now that I don't feel insecure anymore. That's how I feel right now. And I don't know, I've gotten to a point in art, or at least to a mindset in art, where I don't compare myself from a point of jealousy and envy, but I compare myself to other people to a point of inspiration. So when I see a better artist than me, then I go and look at them and say, man, I can actually learn from them. I do feel a bit of jealousy and envy. It doesn't mean that I don't feel them. I just don't care about those feelings anymore. I just feel them. It feels icky when I feel them, and I sit through it. That's what I do. So am I insecure about my art? Actually, to be honest, I've been too proud of my art for the past year, and I think I'm sort of getting complacent in that part. I think I need to I think I really need to push past right now, because I've gotten proud. I feel good right now. Maybe it's time for me to change things up, because you shouldn't have it either ways, right? You shouldn't feel too bad about your art or too good about your art as well. And you can feel them, but it's better you change things up. Okay, let me go back to the questions list. Jesus Christ! Oh wait, I went out, and I need to go back into my comment section. Okay, I have 3 more questions, and 3 more really good questions, and I'm going to go through those questions. Zachary underscore Hill asks, how do you grow your name as an artist? Hey Zachary, I think you're coming from a perspective of not just growing your name as an artist, but also I'm assuming growing your name on social media and things like that, because there are tons of similar questions like that. Hopefully you're asking that. I don't know. I'm going to cover that. So, how do you grow your name as an artist? Step 1 is to create good, high quality work. And step 2, to do that consistently on a very consistent basis. That's like a 2-part recipe right there. So you need to break it down and bring it down to an actionable level where you can schedule that thing. So you need to produce some sort of a good piece of high quality work on a weekly basis, or on a bi-weekly basis, or on a monthly basis. Something that other people look to you and say, oh wait, that's fun, I want to follow that, or I want to check that out, I want to go to his gallery show, I want to watch his YouTube video, I want to look at the film he's drawn for in the theaters, I want to get a piece of the book he's made in the bookstore near me, right? That's how you do, by producing good high quality work and by producing and putting that work out there on a consistent basis, and you need to schedule that particular thing on a level that works for you. And that is how you sort of make a name for yourself as an artist on social media. And I think that's how you make a name for yourself as an artist generally, right? Like take Quentin Tarantino. He makes consistently good pieces of work. That's how you make a name. That's how he's known for, right? Okay, how do you make good pieces of work? You get good at your craft. How do you get good at your craft? You take your craft, break it down into, say, individual components, then practice those individual components and get good at those individual components. And when you put those components together, you're getting it overall good at your craft, right? And that's how I see it. Making a name for yourself as an artist, at least that's how I did it, right? I've always had that thing. Also, one of the lessons that I've learned from last year, you need to actually put yourself out there and market the living life for you to make your name for yourself. Because, Zach, let me tell you, one thing that I've been focusing on all this time was to produce good quality work, which is very, very important, and it's a very key element in this process. But I realized it doesn't matter if you just produce good work. It matters just as much, or if not more, to take that work that you have produced and put it in front of the people, the right kind of people. Because if they don't know that you have produced good quality work, there is no possible way of you making a name for yourself. So you need to sort of find ways. The way you can do that is by going through on social media, finding and putting out work on a consistent basis. And do know that it's going to probably take years before you even see real tangible results. So the way you can manage through those years in order to keep your motivation and the grind up is by doing work that personally satisfies you and doing projects that personally grows you as an artist. And that's how you do it. When you can get a positive reinforcement from one place, you need to sort of get it from another place. That's my perspective. There's probably more to it, and that's how you grow on social media as well. There are a couple of nuances to social media, like keeping it in a niche subject really helps at the beginning. If you're a beginner artist, want to start a YouTube channel or an Instagram page or something like that, pick one particular subject like cartoons or comics or doodling or this or that. If you're all over the place like me, then it's going to take a lot of time for you to make it. So niche at the beginning. Man, it's powerful advice. I'll tell you. I wish I had followed it. I didn't. So this is something someone did tell me. I didn't listen to it. I'll tell you that. So yeah, next question. _Akash _Saho _ there's too many underscores. Asks, what is your long-term plans or projects? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And please, Kesh, give a legitimate answer. I shall, Saho. By the way, I saw a movie named Saho. It was good. Sarcasm. Anyways, where do I see myself in the long term? One, I don't plan too much into the future, like 5 years and 10 years. It doesn't seem to work for me, and the world seems to be changing so quickly and so fast. It's crazy. If someone had told me that I would be teaching and I would love the idea of teaching 5 years back, 2 years back, I would have laughed at them and said, what? Me? Teaching? And wait, liking it? Nope, not gonna happen. I know myself. Yeah, well, I really like it. It's fun. It's good. It's nice to interact with people. It's nice to share your knowledge. It's nice to put these courses, creating products. If someone had told me that I'd love the process of, businessing, if that's even a word, 2 years back, I would have laughed at them. No, I won't. I'm an artist. I don't do business. Business is for bad people, right? That was my stupid mindset back then. But yeah, these are some of the things that I'm interested in. And I really honestly don't know whether I see myself in 10 years. I do see myself making art. making projects, drawing projects, illustration projects. I'll tell you where I see myself in a year, maybe, right? I want to create good products and services that helps people, that's useful. Screw help, that's useful to other people, right? That's my mantra right there. And something useful. I want to put a collection, drawing collections called Sketchbook 1. I'm working on putting that together. It's coming out before 100 days of sketching. I want to do a really good job this year on 100 days of sketching, get as many people to participate in it, and provide lots of good value for free. That's another goal. And I want to make a short film, an animated short film, hopefully this year. And I want to do something based on film or video or something this year. I don't know what that thing is going to be. It's going to be something. And that's where I see myself in this year. And it's very easy for me to take life 6 months at a time, then 5 years at a time, because it's very hard for me to see. I have a vision, right? I do have a vision, but that vision constantly changes to sort of accommodate the kinds of projects that I'm doing right now. So yeah, those are the plans. I don't know where YouTube would fit in. To be honest, I've been really skeptical about YouTube lately, even though I'm trying to fall in love again with the process of making YouTube videos, and I'm doing that by making simpler videos. And that's what I'm doing right now. I've been doing this for a long time. I need to change things up and do something different. I will radically, what happens with me is I get onto a high, then I ride that high for so long, it gets to a point of extreme low, then I get onto an extreme high. And that's how I work. Or I don't know if that's a healthy way of doing things, but at least that's how I'm doing right now. I'll hit a low, then I'll know it's a low. Then I'll be like, maybe I'm going to just completely just change things up and do something different. And that's how I do it. So yeah, that's the thing. What is the thing which you suffer the most in your art career? By the way, big fan. Thanks, Transit Arts. Biggest thing which I suffer the most in my art career. I suffer now. I suffered before. I'll suffer again. A wise man once told me, life is suffering. Well, the thing is, it's always a point of highs and lows for me, at least. And what I'm realizing is, rather than just being or trying to ride that highs and lows, just go unanimously, like move like this. The highs and lows will happen, but you just go boof, like on a straight line, like, front, like that. I'm pointing that in the video. So that's how I sort of think I can do it. One of the things I suffered the most, right, these days, right? What to do? I still have that question. And the answer for me is I always experiment and do things and find that thing. I'm the kind of guy who says you cannot drive a ship or a car that isn't moving. Yeah, you can't steer a ship that isn't moving. You can't drive a car that isn't moving. If you're just driving a car that isn't moving, you're just steering in place. So the way I do things is by constantly moving and seeing what works, what doesn't, what works, what doesn't. That's a faster way of doing things. There's apparently a story, right, about a donkey who was sort of trying to make a decision between hay and water. He's like, should I drink water or should I eat hay? Should I drink water or should I eat hay? Am I hungry? Am I dehydrated? Hungry, dehydrated. He was just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And he didn't choose a thing, and he died out of dehydration and hunger. That's I think making a decision, going to it, seeing if it works, and going to another thing is a way faster process of doing things rather than just sitting down. And that's why I do a lot of things, but I'm seeing what sticks. And I don't think a lot of things will stick for a very long time because I'm young, I'm trying to learn things, but I'll keep throwing, oops, I dropped something. I'll keep throwing darts at the dartboard, and hopefully at one point or the other, I have the faith that something will stick. Yeah. Wait, what? I didn't even tell you what was his suffering. Yeah, I don't know what to do right now. That's the thing that I'm suffering right now. Cool. two more questions, and these questions are really good. Abhi_baked asks, I'm good at art, I know it, but I'm not able to progress. There's always this self-judgment of how you'll never be a good recognized artist. I'm sure you were there in my shoes at one point in life. How did you overcome that and just believed in the path that you were going? Well, Abhi, I'm just trying to articulate my thoughts here. Give me a second. I think you are sort of feeling a bit uncertain about your future, and you also have a certain fear, which goes like, will I make it in life or not? Right? At least that's the thing that I was going through, and that's the thing that I think that you are asking. I may be wrong, I don't know. But I think there is probably a fear that tells you, man, what if I don't make it? What if I don't succeed? What if I don't? That's what you're asking, right? There's always this self-judgment of how you'll never be a good recognized artist. I know this trap. Recognized. You want other people to know you. I get you. It's not bad, right? It's something you want that. You as much. I can sit here and say, man, don't do that. You don't want that outside validation. You don't. I can sit here and talk like this high guy who's sort of sends you some things. I don't know what I'm trying to say here from a high point of thingy, but I'm not. It's nice to be validated for your art. And that's what one of the things that all artists crave, whether they like to admit it or not. They want some sort of appreciation. But it's good to also place your foot in another place where things are a bit more in your control, because other people appreciating you is not in your control. And you have to place your foot in other places where you want to do things and arts and create pieces and works that really, that you enjoy, and you like the process of doing that. And that's the thing. And whether or not will you make it as an artist, as a recognized, successful artist who does times, covers, and works with Will Smith. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up now. And, there's always this uncertainty, right? That's the lesson last year. That's the lessons that I'm still learning right now. You don't know. You'll never know whether you'll make it or not. And the fact is, right? You have to be okay with not knowing. And that's when you'll sort of really know. That's the thing right there. Yeah. Once you stop overthinking, start getting out of your own way. And by the way, I'm not trying to sort of give you an advice, by the way. If I sound like that, don't. I'm not trying to give you something. I'm just sharing my perspective from a very humble point of view. Hopefully I don't sound like an egotistical maniac. You need to stop overthinking, get out of yourself, get out of your own way, and be okay with putting in the work and not getting the results. Man, it's so hard to do that. It's very hard to do that, and I find it hard. I see some other people making YouTube videos and making artworks. They're not that good, but people watch them. They get more recognized, or they get more this. I feel that envy, I feel that jealousy, but what am I going to do? Do I want to play their game? No, I don't. In order to get the results that they get, I need to play their game, but I don't want to play their game. But if I just ask for the results that they have, but don't want to play their game, then I shouldn't be asking for the results that they have. So yeah, you got to be okay with that. I don't think I've overcome it. I don't think it's a constant thing of overcoming it, getting through it, overcoming it, going through it, or something like that, right? And there's always a self-judgment of how you'll know you'll be never. I don't know. I think you sort of decided that you'll never make it as an artist. That's another thing. Maybe it's your false belief. Maybe it's a real belief. Maybe it's something true. Maybe artists don't make it big. Maybe artists just struggle for a life or for a living, and they try it very hard, and I don't know, they suffer. Or you could just go, man, I'm gonna break this thing up. I'm gonna break this belief. I'm gonna do something that nobody has ever done before. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna achieve that, right? And that's where my next question goes, which is, someone has asked me. This is my last question for the day, and it's a very good question because this got me thinking. And the question was, wait, I'm trying to reach for that question. Something along the lines of, wait, where is that question? Jesus. Can art be a sustainable livelihood choice? And this was asked by Manamituta, right? On the lines of the previous answer, right? Can art be a sustainable livelihood choice? I'm just looking at, say, some of the artists that I'm looking up to, and some of the artists that I'm following on Instagram who have accomplished big, great things in life. And they still talk about how art is very hard to be a good financial or a financial option, meaning that they all struggle to sort of not make ends meet, but the couple of months from now is always sort of like an uncertain thing for them. And for me, I'm doing good, right? I'm doing good. I have my own studio space. I afford my own stuff. I have someone working for me, and I have, I pay for my family. It's good. I'm good. I'm earning more than, say, some of my accountant friends who have spent like 7 years doing, and a doctor as well. Probably more than that, but they'll probably get paid more in the near future. But the thing is, right, that's one of the things that I've been thinking about. I have this deep desire and a goal underneath my belly, which says, man, oh man, I'm not just gonna be this good artist. I'm gonna be an artist who's extremely financially independent. That probably comes from the fact that I grew up pretty, deficient on money when I was a kid. We were just a lower middle class Indian kid. I had to work my way up. I'm proud of that, and I came here all by myself to an extent. People helped me though. In the sense of having my back and giving me motivation and inspiration during hard times. But financially, I had to do it all by myself, right? So that's one of the things that I've always been thinking. I have to. I don't care. I'm going to mix things. I'm going to learn things. I'm going to do things that I'm passionate about, and I'm going to make it a super, super, super financially viable thing. And I'm on the road to that, and things are looking good. Based on what I've done in the past few months, things are looking pretty damn good. So that's the thing right there, right? Can art be a sustainable living? First, on the lines of the previous question, I want to break that belief, that belief of the starving artist. Artists starve. They don't make money. They don't make a living, right? No, I don't. By the way, people before me have done that. I'm not saying I'm the first person to do that. People before me have done that. They keep doing that. It's been done before. I want to do something for myself that's going to be like a belief-breaking barrier thing for me. And that's how it works. The thing is, you'll never know whether it will work out or not. I might wake up 40 years from now and go, man, probably didn't work out. But I don't want to go, right? I don't want to be 40 years from now and say, man, I wish I had done enough to hopefully make that a reality. I think that's the thing that you can only control, the amount of work you put in. And I keep stressing that, and I keep telling that because that's the truth. And I need to keep telling myself that because that thing needs to keep going into my head even more to a deeper place of understanding. So that's what I'm trying to do. So to this question of, can art be a sustainable choice, sustainable for living? If you want to know, yes, it can be. It can be a very lucrative and a sustainable thing, provided you're not just an artist, but you're also a business person. You need to Art is not something where you make millions unless you are this one lucky sheep in the herd, where you're extremely praised for your art. That's the reality of things. There's this one artist who just does everything that they love and it just clicks, it falls perfectly into the marketplace and they make good living out of it. Others need to learn business aspects of things as well. They need to learn to be a good businessman, because business is also sort of like an art. It's an art of knowing what other people want and giving something useful for them that will be useful to them. That's what business is. It's something that helps yourself, the people around you, the community around you. You need to learn business. You need to learn how to be a good businesswoman or a good businessman. And you need to learn the art side of things and the business side of things. You need to learn to serve. And once you do that, you'll know that art is indeed a very sustainable thing. There are tons of people they're out there on the top 1% who made their life out of as an artist. And there are tons of other people who are struggling. And, that's, you need to know that top class should give you hopes that it's possible even for you, because they're not stopping you from getting there. It's only you who's probably, you need to know that you need to get there by learning the tools of the trades step by step. There are tons of tools. Maybe in the future podcast, I need to cover them one by one. Next podcast, we'll talk about money and business. And, so those are the things. Those are the things. Can art be a sustainable living? Yes. In fact, I'll give you a couple of people who can follow that I know personally. Maybe not all, who are doing a pretty damn good job at it. One, look at Jake Parker. Look at Alicia Souza. Look at, who else? I'm just thinking. Yeah, these two are good examples. There's another illustrator named Chaya Prabhat, wonderful illustrator. She's doing good. She's got some really good pieces of work. She's doing good work for good clients like Google and Facebook and YouTube and things like that. And, these people are doing really good. And to look at them, you can definitely go and say, man, art is sustainable. I'll tell you this, you'll definitely make more than someone who studied accounting or engineering or doctor. I'm talking about India, not about America. I know American doctors make like shitload of money, way more than that. We can actually even probably make way more than them by the American standards if you know what you're doing. And so you'll definitely make way more than them. But the thing is, do you have the capability to take on the uncertainty of being a business person that comes along with this journey of making art sustainable? Not just sustainable, something that's thriving financially and emotionally and on your passion basis and everything. It comes with a lot of uncertainty, and that's what separates the entrepreneurs from the workers. Some people are better off by giving their choice to someone else and living within certain constraints so that they can play creatively within those constraints, like a day job. Some people are better off getting out of those constraints and creating constraints for themselves and doing that thing. You need to know which person you are. Fortunately, I'm not the kind of person who can thrive well in a job working for someone else. I'm the kind of person who needs to work for themselves, or else I don't have any other option. So yeah, you need to know yourself, but it's very possible. And I'm doing good, so you can take me as an example. I don't know. I'm happy. Just saying. Anyways, that's a narcissistic ending right there. Anyways, thank you for listening to this long podcast. Hopefully you have gotten a thing or two from this episode. I think I should be doing this on a regular basis because there are tons of more good questions. I've gotten to probably 20, 25 questions probably throughout this podcast. That is like 400 plus more questions. At least 100 of them are really good that are not about cakes or ice creams. And I'll probably get to them through the YouTube videos, to the thing, that post right there that ask Kesh post right there is a gold mine of value for me in terms of knowing what you guys want. And I'm going to be serving you guys what you guys want one at a time. So yeah, anyways, thank you for listening to this podcast. Go do something useful. Bye-bye.